Have you ever run your code only to get hit with a giant red error message and your first thought was, huh, what did I even do wrong? Trust me, every programmer has been there. The difference between a beginner and an experienced developer isn't that experienced developers don't get errors, it's that they know how to read them. So today, we're going to intentionally break our core code in different ways, understand what each error actually means, and most importantly, learn how to fix it. Let's start with the very first one. Suppose you write something like this: print hello. This is probably the first error every Python programmer sees. It's a syntax error. A syntax error means Python couldn't even understand your code. Think of it like writing a sentence without finishing it. In this case, I forgot to close the parenthesis. When I run the program, Python immediately stops and tells me exactly what's wrong. All I have to do is close the parenthesis, run it again, and it works. Simple. Now let's create a variable called age. But instead of printing age, I accidentally typed A capital. Run it. Boom! Another error? What is it? NameError. Why? Because Python is case sensitive. AG is different from age. So Python is basically saying, you're asking me for a variable that doesn't exist. This usually happens because of spelling mistakes or using a variable before creating it. Correct the name, run again. Problem solved. Now let's try something interesting. I'll create a number and then try to add a string to it. Python doesn't like that. Run. Type error. Numbers and strings are two completely different data types. Python won't magically combine them for you. We simply convert the number into a string, run again. Perfect. Now, let's say I want to convert text into a number. If I write the word 20 instead of the number 20, Python throws a value error. Notice the difference. The variable exists. The function exists. But the value itself isn't valid for what we're trying to do. To place it with an actual number, run again, done. Moving on, lists are indexed starting from 0. Here's a list with only 2 names. Now I'll try accessing the 6th element. Run, IndexError. Python searched for something that simply isn't there. Always show the index you're accessing actually exists inside the list. Fix the index, run again, everything works. Now let's switch to dictionaries. This dictionary only contains one key, name. But I'll try accessing age. Run KeyError. Unlike lists, dictionaries don't use indexes, they use keys. If the key doesn't exist, Python can't return a value. One safer option is using get, because instead of crashing, it will simply return none if the key is missing. Here's string. Now watch this. I'll try using append on it. Run AttributeError. Because append belongs to lists, not strings. Different objects have different methods. The correct way is simply adding another string using the plus operator. Run again. Works perfectly. Sometimes the problem isn't your code. It's the module you're trying to import. Here I intentionally misspelled pandas. Run. ModuleNotFoundError. This can happen for 2 reasons. Either you made a spelling mistake or the package isn't installed on your computer. Correct the spelling or install the package. Problem solved? This one is pretty straightforward. Let's divide 10 by 0. Run ZeroDivisionError. Even Python can't break the rules of mathematics. Before dividing, always check if the denominator is 0. Once we do that, the program runs safely. We also have exception handling, but let's keep it aside for now. Suppose I want to open a file called students.txt, but the file doesn't exist. Run FileNotFoundError. Python searched everywhere it was supposed to, but couldn't find the file. Either create the file or make sure you're using the correct path. Then it'll work just fine. And finally, the error every Python programmer learns to respect. Indentation error. Watch what happens if I remove these spaces. Run immediate error. Simply indent the line correctly. Run it again and we're done. If you've noticed something, None of these errors actually mean Python is broken. They're just Python telling you exactly what went wrong. The real skill isn't avoiding errors, it's learning how to understand them. So the next time your screen turns red, don't panic. Read the last line, understand the message, fix the code, and run it again, because that's exactly how real programmers debug. If this video saved you hours of frustration, hit that like button, subscribe for more programming content, and let me know in the comments which Python error annoyed you the most when you first started coding. And see you in the next one.